right,
Okay.
so I'm online editor Josh Roten. I'm here with Cheyenne Botanic Gardens director Shane Smith, and he's going to give us a tour of the building, the construction, as we go through. So you want to just kind of walk us around a little bit, Shane?
We're standing right in the entryway, and we're standing in the lobby. Right when you walk in the building, this is what you're going to see. You see these dark patches on the ceiling. Those are going to become skylights. They look like regular lights, but those will actually have sun shining through kind of a tubular skylight. Let's go in here. So this, we leave the lobby and we have just come into a room, probably our nicest room in the whole building in terms of just looking really cool, is the the Anthony Andrikopoulos Orangery. Okay. And it is orangery is an old European word for a space to put plants from the New World into the Old World. And this is a kind of room where they would have oranges and other citrus. That's why orangery, or orangery is also a legal term. Sure. And so it's designed to be kind of the earliest greenhouses look like this. And they had tall windows to the south, and the sun would shine all the way, and you can see the shadows on the floor are coming in nice and deep. And so in the early days, they didn't have overhead glass technology. This room does have overhead glass, but what they wanted is the light to shine all the way into this room so they could grow plants in the winter in it. And they'd have a masonry wall on the back, and they'd build a fireplace in the masonry wall with a serpentine flue system, so that would radiate and keep the whole room warm. So as summer came around, as we're heading towards summer right now, the shadows would get higher and higher, the sun would get higher and higher, and they'd lose the sun. But by then it's warm outside. Right. So then they roll the plants outside. Right. So we wanted a meeting room that would be multifunctional. On a normal weekday, you'd walk in here and it'd be filled with plants and fragrant, and have big plants in pots. And so we would be standing in what feels like a greenhouse, and there'd be tables and chairs and greenery. And then along comes Saturday, and somebody's going to get married in here. And so we can roll the plants into the lobby in the winter time, or out to, we have a patio out here and another patio this way. And so we would roll plants out to a patio. And then this room can hold 110 people theater style. We're going to have a beautiful basketry flooring design tile donated by Kaiser Flooring, in honor of the patriarch of the Kaiser family. And so we've had a lot of wonderful donations like that from contractors and individuals and just regular folks. So anyway, so this can be a meeting room, this can be a dining room, this is a greenhouse to hang out in. And along with being a Botanic Garden Conservatory, we're thinking about two important things in this design. One is to have a lot of places to linger, to hang out, to get out of the Cheyenne's winter. Winters are long here, you know. And so we wanted that, but we also wanted spaces that would create revenue, because it's unheard of to have a botanic garden in a city this size. And now it's even more unheard of to have a greenhouse conservatory in a city this size. So we have to be very creative in being somewhat as self-supporting as possible. We'll never be 100% self-supporting, but we need to have some revenue. So this is a rentable space. And speaking of revenue, let's go this way.
Sure. Let me just, while I'm saying this is Facebook Live with the director of the Botanic Gardens. We're doing a tour. If you guys have questions about the facility, feel free to ask us, and I'll float them over here to Shane. Where are we walking over to now, Shane?
We are still in the lobby, but we have two triangular-shaped rooms. You might even focus that up, and you kind of see the shape of a triangle up there. And so one triangle room is right here, and this will be a gift shop, because we're basically a museum, and every good museum has a nice gift shop, and that will help with some revenue generation. And then a similar size room over here, and this will be a grab-and-go food area, which we will not run, unlike the library. You know the story about the library. We're going to contract it out, and if we don't find a contractor, we'll just put a vending machine in there.
Okay.
But I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of people wanting to sip their coffee after a walk around the lake and just enjoy a tropical space. And like I say, lingering, having a place to hang out is a big part of our design. And you were just focusing on that stairway.
Watch my step. We're excited for this too, Haley. Go ahead, Shane.
Look at this great stairway design. This is where brides will be coming out of our bride's dressing room down to this space down here. So this will become the most
you're gonna have people
photographed.
coming down there in having their wedding over in the orange room.
Stairway in Cheyenne, I'm sure.
Wow. Okay.
And I love the angles of the lines of the stairway.
Yeah. Let's go look over here one more time. Just up the stairs. We're excited to see the finished product here too, Discover. And like I said, if you guys have questions about what's going on,
Let's go into
please ask. Shane.
Backspace. Right here you can see this big X.
Yeah.
And on this wall we are going to have what's known as a green wall. So it will be a planted wall, solid green plants 2 stories high. So it'll make this lobby feel like it's very much a part of the greenhouse growing space. It's componentized, small pot, self-watering, self-fertilizing, planted up wall. So it's going to be kind of neat. Then over here we've got, this is the second meeting room.
Okay.
And this is a little larger meeting room. This will hold 120 something folks. And this room has the ability to be split into 2 spaces. You can kind of see a beam up here on the wall, and that will have a bifold door system so that we could have 2 meetings going on in this room at the same time.
And Haley wants to know, is there a scheduled finish date right now?
We are looking at the contractor being done. Probably my best guess is going to be in April. But it's going to take us a month or 2 to get it outfitted and get it ready to open. Because once they're done, we come in and then we got to put plants in, furniture in, get it outfitted, get things set up. So.
And Janelle wants to
So
know.
we're hoping by the time we're in full swing of summer, we'll be walking.
A little bit too. Janelle wants to know, when are you going to start taking reservations for weddings?
Oh, we get asked that every day. And until we really have a firm date, we're not going to take reservations. So all we can tell folks, we don't want to ruin anybody's wedding by saying, oh, sorry, you don't get that
Right.
here. The parking's still occupied by construction and such. So once we really know our firm date, we will start allowing reservations. We tell folks, just keep checking back with us. We don't mind the phone calls. I can tell you don't check with us today, but maybe next month we might know. It might be 2 months, we might know. So this room, you can see the square you're in that right now. That is the catering kitchen. And that's one of the 2 catering kitchens. That way, people can have nice receptions in the whole building. And we also have another catering kitchen right over here. And that can serve this room as well as serve out to a patio. This is going to be, maybe we should get a shot here. We'll have a very nice patio between the Children's Village and this building. And the nice thing about this patio, we call it the solar patio. And the nice thing about it is it will be protected from the wind by a 50-foot building.
Right.
Basically a 5-story building.
Right.
So all those days in Cheyenne when we say it'd be a nice day except for the wind, it might still be a nice day out on this patio.
Right.
And we can hang out for many more months into the winter and enjoy the space. And notice the brickwork too.
Yeah.
The brickwork masonry is very nicely crafted, and it's designed to try to match up and complement the original rock work of the Paul Smith Children's Village, which was built by the WPA program. Where's WPA? Works Progress Administration.
Right.
It's the conservation corps for urban areas where young men in the 1930s learned how to learn to trade, and they learned how to lay rock, lay brick, that kind of thing. Let's
I'll ask your question here in just a second,
Okay.
Haley, when we get to the next location.
we're going to go upstairs.
We're going to go upstairs now.
This is more lobby area back in here, bathrooms, back entrance for the caterer to come in. And let's go on up.
Shane Haley wants to know if there's going to be anything going on for Frontier Day specifically in these buildings.
We'll be wide open to the public. Okay. We have not scheduled anything yet because, like I say, we're not scheduling anything till we know. But we will be open, and I think it'll be real noticeable. Usually, the Botanic Gardens didn't have much of an increase in visitation during Frontier Days, but I think this year will be different. So let's go here.
This is what everyone's been talking about, this big open dome area.
So we're really proud to say that we have both a local contractor as well as a local architect. And our architect is Randy Byers with TDSI. Our contractor is 5R Construction. We love both of these guys, both of these companies. And so Randy Byers and I, when we were doing the initial discussions on design, we took a little trip to visit a number of other conservatories across the eastern U.S., where there are a lot of them. And the one thing we really, really liked was the fact that there were just a couple of conservatories that had upper-level viewing catwalks or balconies. We thought, we got to have that. So we do have that. And we're standing on the second floor balcony right now. And so this is
in, up just a little bit too.
This is in the greenhouse space. So this is humid air. This is greenhouse air. On these balconies will be planted plants in pots. We'll have benches. We'll have chairs. This is another place to hang out. You'll be staring out into a canopy of plants. You can see we have a few little plants down there that we've already moved in here, but we'll be moving more in as time goes on, of course. We're going to be having a waterfall between these two columns over here, and it will have a small little moat or stream that will go through the building. And so
let's go over to this little area here too, Shane. And you can again repeat the designers and who you guys are working with locally, and louder too, because people.
TDSI is our architect. Randy Byers is the main guy there, and 5R Construction, both great Cheyenne companies. Ray Fertig and his brothers are part of that company, and Ray Fertig Jr. and his dad started the company, and they've been great to work with. And so anyway, let's head over this way.
And again, we're live with Shane at the Botanic Gardens here. If you have any questions about what's going on, feel free to ask. We're sorry about the sound quality. We're trying to do as best we can here. But hopefully the visuals will tide you guys over.
At least somebody turned the radio down. So
yeah, that's good. It is a construction site, so there's going to be background noise and stuff. So we apologize for that.
Let's just go in here. This is one of 4 mechanical rooms.
Okay.
And Randy Byers would often tell me that this is the most complicated building he's ever designed. This is not like design. The city just built a safety building. It's basically just an office building with a couple jail cells. This building has 3 different kinds of heat systems. We've got hydronic heating. We've got infrared heating. We've got forced air heating. We've got 2 different kinds of air conditioning systems. We have a fog system in the greenhouse, so we can create a in here if we want. We also have to have fire suppression systems. We've got to have air destratification systems. We've got air conditioning systems. We have water. We have humidity. We have it's a lot to manage. So let's head into here. I'm kind of blown away by all the mechanical part of it. We're in a hallway here, and this hallway connects us up to the old building. There's a bridge.
Okay.
And the reason we did this is elevators are really expensive.
Okay.
To maintain and to build. And so we realized this is a Randy Byers idea that's just great. He's like, let's get access to the second floor of the old building through the new building. So that way we only have to have one elevator. So there'll be a catwalk that goes all the way through the old building that will get you to the second floor if you're in a wheelchair or have trouble getting around. And it'll always be open air underneath. So And we call this hallway our gallery because it's designed to have a lot of art on these walls. And we have a long tradition of stained glass.
I wanted to look back
So
through
we
here because
have-
this is a spectacular view right
yeah,
here.
it is. And we'll be hanging stained glass on these windows. And in the wintertime, this is designed so that the light will shine all the way into this hallway when the sun's low, as we were talking about the sun being low in winter in the orangery. But it'll also shine all the way into this room. And let's go into this room. So this room will catch the sunlight from the greenhouse as well. And this room, we just entered the science classroom.
Okay, and this, just to orient people a little bit over here.
We're looking out the north window. You can see Sloan's Lake. You can see the lily pond over here. And you can see a volunteer working off in the distance.
Sure.
Which is how we get everything done around here is with volunteers.
But this is the science room, as you were saying.
Yeah, this is a science classroom. When we opened the Paul Smith Children's Village, we realized that our mission changed, whether we liked it or not. We were a science center. We teach a ton of science over there, and we thought, let's have a classroom that we can do that with as well. So this room holds about 65 people. It's a good size. It's bigger than your average classroom.
Sure.
And you can see this, what is going to be a table here. This will house microscopes, and not just any microscopes. Our plan is to have the microscopes be projected up on screens up here, so kids can be, and adults can be self-entertaining by putting slides in, and this whole wall is showing bugs' eyes or pollen grains or all kinds of microbial things going on. And so we have a theme to our educational effort in this building, and that theme is sight. Like sight of lenses, light, prisms. Now let's look over here.
Oh, okay.
And this is one big piece of our sight. Inside this box is a Navy submarine periscope.
Right, and tell the story about the periscope too. You guys worked to get this here.
Yeah, well, there's a great guy in town by the name of Jim Marshall, and Jim heard me talk years ago about doing the Paul Smith Children's Village, and we talked about a secret garden in there, and I talked about, maybe we'll have a periscope, kids can look over the wall of the secret garden, and Jim came up afterwards and said, how would you like a real periscope? And sure, why not? What the heck? You know, and then, many years later, Jim called me up and said, remember me? Remember this idea of this periscope? I was like, yeah. He said, do you still want that periscope? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Same answer. And he said, oh, thank God. I said, why? He said, because I've got one being flown in on a Rhode Island National Guard C-130 this Sunday.
Wow.
And I'm like, Jim, where am I going to put it? How am I going to get it off the plane? He's like, don't worry, I got it all figured out. But Jim said, by the way, you need at least a building about 45 to 50 feet high to house it. And I was like, Jim, I don't have a building that tall. And he said, well, figure it out. And we were figuring all kinds of schemes of ways to house this thing. Sure. And we finally, now we have a 50-foot high building to put it. We actually mounted it, we're on the second floor. We put it on the second floor because Randy Byers and I figured out, we went up in a cherry picker, and we realized that you can't see much if we've mounted this on the ground. You just see trees. So by putting this on the second floor, now we can see above the trees.
A little bit further out there.
You can see the Colorado Rockies. You can see over the roof.
Really? You can see the Rockies?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I could see, some people, old Cheyenne folks know it as Wycon Chemical. I can't think of the new name of the place. It's a kind of a nitrogen manufacturing company out southwest of Cheyenne. I could see cars pulling into that place. That's beyond, that place is beyond the Walmart distribution center. So I could see all the way out there with this periscope. It was quite amazing. We had there's a gentleman who we flew in who's an expert in installing these things. And he came in, we did it on Flag Day. People were really excited about it.
I want to give people this view right here too real quick.
Yeah.
And I also want to say again, welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining us, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, and I'll ask Shane over here. That's the director of the Botanic Gardens giving us a tour. We're sorry about the sound quality. It is a construction site, so it's going to be hard. But Shane's giving us
a lot of music in here.
They like to play music in here for sure. So we're going to go around in here a little bit more.
What? It's okay. Go
Come on, pull it. You guys are on video.
Good stuff. Famous.
Famous, world famous. Turn that down. Let's go to these windows real
So
quick.
we're
we can
in
orient
we're in an
again.
office. This is staff offices and nice view out into what will be our solar patio. We have a door cut to the children's village, so if somebody wants to rent both the children's village and this building, you can open it up so people can pass through.
And this is the orangery down here, which is the right-hand
Yeah,
side that we
that's
were in
the
at the
rock.
beginning of the video.
Exactly. Yeah, you can see the roof of it, the nice brickwork. And we've got two enclosed offices, one for the director and one for the whoever's in charge of fundraising or the assistant director.
Sure.
And we have a nice little area here. It's a little place for the coffee pot and the microwave for staff and volunteers. And then we have a patio out here that is for access for staff and volunteers.
Little fresh air action.
Yeah, and we have another room over here. This is a meeting room. We have the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens has a nonprofit called the Friends of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden that basically has enabled the Botanic Gardens to exist. Virtually all of our grounds were fundraised for through that nonprofit side. The Children's Village, we used $2 million privately to build that. Not a dime of taxpayer money came into play in building the Children's Village. And so we, so this room will be very much involved with having meetings with that nonprofit side. We have a lot of committee meetings, a lot of development, a lot of planning. And it's really through that nonprofit side that we're enabling ourselves to have this building get outfitted. We basically, bids came in way high when we went out to build this building. And we didn't even think we were going to be able to build it to the original square footage. So, you can go out here if you want. So
That'd be great.
So we went out to bid a second time after we had to throw out bids. And our contractor, Ray Furtick, you can see kids playing with
Yep.
puppet theater down there. Our contractor came back and said, I got good news for you. I can build your whole building for you for the money you have, but that's all I can do. I can't outfit it. I can't put anything in other than the walls, the roof, and the heating system and mechanical. So no money for plants, no money for audio-visual, no money for furniture, no money for landscaping, no irrigation, no waterfall, no bonsai house. We'll show you the bonsai house in a second.
Let me get over to the edge of this because I want to show what the
we've
building's
had
kind of
to
looking like.
we've had to raise. We realized we needed to raise between $1.5 to $2 million to outfit this building. And we're now, so we've done naming opportunities, we've done little fundraising drives. And so my assistant director, Tina Worthmiller, and myself, that's been our nonstop focus for about 2 years, raising funds to outfit this building. And I'm really pleased to say that we have now raised $1.5 million towards outfitting privately, not using taxpayer funds.
Right.
so,
That's important to stress, is that it's been privately funded on a
yeah,
large part there.
And so we are going to outfit this building the way people expect it to be, and it's really going to be a great thing. And this community comes through so amazingly. I mean, they came through to build this whole children's village. This is one of the top 10 one of the top 10 children's gardens in the nation, according to not me, but other experts.
Yeah.
All privately raised by the people of Cheyenne.
Where are we going next to, Shane?
We are going to go upstairs.
Okay. And again, we're live with Shane Smith, the director of the Botanic Garden.
One quick stop on the way.
And if you guys have questions for him, we're touring the building here, the new facility that they're building out. And as you heard there, we are on a construction site, so it is going to be loud
So
here.
this room we just walked through is the bride's dressing room.
Oh, okay.
And we're still fundraising for this room, actually. Anybody who donates $500 can have a permanent photo of their wedding in this room. And they can also rent this meeting room if they have a really large wedding. Then that works out too. Another mechanical room over here. Let's head upstairs to the next floor.
What's up on the second floor that you want to show us, Shane?
Well, Randy Byers and I, like I said, we really fell in love with the idea of a perspective from above. And so we designed a second floor balcony. We didn't see any other greenhouse or garden that has a second balcony. So we have a third floor balcony in the greenhouse, another place to hang out. It'll have benches, chairs, potted plants. Again, you'll be looking out into the plant canopy.
Let's go all the way over to this corner down
So,
there. And you want to just repeat that again about the third floor, because that might have been a little too loud for people.
We love the idea of a second or an upper level viewing area. What this conservatory has that I haven't seen, it might exist, but is two different upper level areas. So we've got a second floor balcony and a third floor balcony. And so we're really utilizing the upper air space of this building. And so you'd be hanging out in the greenhouse, sipping your coffee after having jogged or run around the lake or enjoying it, and hanging out in the tropics without going through TSA. For free.
For free.
Free
We have a question. Did you get the tall palm trees that you were looking for this area?
We're
From Carly.
We're about to order some, and we do have one little palm tree down there. You can kind of see that we've been growing, and we transplanted from the old building. But our plan is to have a number of palms and we fully envision that the palm trees, not the day we open, but eventually will go all the way up to these beams.
The day you open, not so much, but eventually it's going to go all the way to the top.
And in fact, some palm experts have told us it will only take about 5 years.
Wow.
To get them that big.
5 years, that's really fast. I thought that was going to take much longer.
Now you see that X over there?
Mm-hmm.
Beam?
Yeah.
That is a special conservatory room that has its climate isolated from the climate of the rest of the greenhouse. And that's called the theme conservatory. And so if we want to run it more humid or cooler or put fog in it or whatever, we can do that.
Yeah.
And the idea of that is to have a regularly changing out plant show. So we'll be looking for sponsors for it. So if you've got a business, give us a call. We'll plug you in.
Sure.
So it'll be seasonally changing. So it might be, Joe's Pizza Parlor's season to display orchids, or the Wyoming Tribune Eagles show of Jurassic plants.
Yeah, I'm down for that show. I want to see that right now, actually.
So we'll keep changing that. And the idea is to give people a good reason, something really entertaining and exciting to come and look at and see. Because the plants in this main conservatory, once we get a 20-foot, 30-foot palm tree, we're not going to be pulling it out every year. It's going to stay there for a while.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's have an area we can change up a lot. So,
hello, Molly. How are you? Again, if you guys have questions about what's going on, we have Shane here to answer them for you. We're doing a nice tour of the new facilities at the Botanic Gardens.
how's it going there?
Well, not too bad. It's a little slow. That's pretty bad.
So, the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens has hosted the Cheyenne Astronomical Society for decades, and they very generously allow the public to come to their meetings, and at the end of their evenings, they drag their telescopes outside, set them up, and let people look at the stars if the weather's permitting. But they always complain that the streetlights were always a problem, and I can get that. So I kept telling our designer, Randy Byers with TBSI, to let's set aside a little piece of the roof where they could set up their telescopes and get them above the streetlights. So we're on the third floor. We're up quite high. And so we designed an area, actually a pretty small area by that exit sign. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger because we kept realizing this is a really cool space.
Yeah.
And your camera probably can't show, but you can see the Colorado Rockies above the trees way out there. You can see the Beethoos. And so this is not just a place to view the stars, it'll be a place where you can hang out most any day of the year. If they want to come up here, tables and chairs, again, another place to linger, to enjoy. From this railing out to the edge of the wall will be a green roof. We're going to plant this with sedums and other low-growing plants. And you can see down in the Children's Village, well, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a dog house
here
down
now
there.
too. But yeah.
Our dog house has a planted roof.
Okay.
So by the
Yeah.
Dash Sheepherder's wagon. So this will be a planted roof out to the edge. And then we were up here realizing this might be a little warm up here in the summer.
Right.
So we put these posts up here. You can see these posts. A lot of people ask, what are these posts on your roof?
Because they look like flag posts to me, but
yeah, they do. It's actually we're gonna roll sailcloth over to the wall.
Okay.
So we can create a nice shady spot if it's warm up here. But this will be a place to just hang out, read a book, have a wedding, eat lunch, hear a concert.
Yeah.
This
would be a great space.
This is actually our biggest public space. Is on a roof.
Yeah.
And we're walking right now.
Is this for the
This is a bonsai.
The bonsai house, right?
Yeah. And so we'll mount lath. So it'll be set. So it'll have about 50% of the sunlight coming through and 50% of the wind. And this will house bonsais that like winter, that are temperate bonsais. We have tropical bonsais, but we also have temperate bonsais.
Right.
Bonsais that need winter, that need cold air, that need sunlight, lots of light. And so this space, we've got a very active bonsai club here in Cheyenne, and they're going to take over this spot and fill it with plants, and it'll be another place to enjoy. Now, we're really glad to have this up on the third floor because bonsais are very commonly stolen from botanic gardens
because they're beautiful.
Yeah. And they're beautiful and they're small.
Yeah.
And so by putting on the third floor in a lockable space, we're going to solve a lot of those problems.
That's great.
So, this will be back down to the orangery and the front entryway.
And like Shane was just saying, that's the orangery down there below us, like we were starting out of the video.
If we can raise all the money we hope to raise, and we're not quite there yet, but $1.5 million is pretty good.
Yeah.
We really want to take this area down here and plant it as a green roof space as well, because people will be standing right inside those windows looking out on the roof. And that's going to just get kind of ugly. And if we can plant it into plants, it would be nice. And these little boxes down here, that's where the skylights will be that shine down into the lobby.
Okay.
Right, remember the
Yes, from the earlier in the video.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool. That's going to be some natural light then.
Yeah.
Through that. That's awesome.
Let's head on down.
Sure. Where are we headed now, Shane?
We're going to go all the way down into the greenhouse.
Okay.
And we got a lot of stairways in here. There's 3 different staircases, or 4 different actually, in this building. Oh, very good. Okay. So the story of the money for this building in 2008, the voters voted by a margin of 67% to give us $750,000 to do the initial design work. Then we came back to the voters in 2012 with a proposal to give us $16 million, $2 million of which will be used for operations and maintenance. And that passed by 56%. And go here. And so,
Can we actually go stand in this little middle
yes,
area?
we're going to go right in the greenhouse here. And then with us raising another, hopefully $2 million, we're talking a total, we're approaching $19 million for if you add up all the pots of money, what we privately raise, what the public has voted on. And so we're standing right in the middle of the Grand Conservatory. By the way, the word conservatory means a space that displays plants for so yeah, it's a greenhouse, but it's also known as a conservatory.
Right.
Where if we were just growing plants for production, to sell, to eat, then it's called a greenhouse. So people get confused by that term, conservatory. You can see the themed conservatory over here. We've got a local glass company doing the final pieces of the glass work. We actually hired a company out of Belgium to do the overhead glass. And people are asking, why did you guys hire somebody out of Belgium? And the reason we hired a Belgium company is because they were the low bid. They beat out 2 other American companies, and I didn't want to waste taxpayer money. So let's, and they shipped the costs all the way from Belgium and still were the low bid. So, so we were glad to hire them, and they did a great job for us.
Barb says she can't wait to see it open.
Oh,
She's
good.
excited
Hi,
about
Barb.
it.
And we have, we're heading towards a garage door. And this is actually 3 garage doors, so we can get things in and out on a cold day without freezing down this building. And let's talk a second about I was talking about the Belgian glass installers. This overhead glass, and even the vertical glass, is very high tech. It's low E glass, tempered, laminated. Each piece of glass is about, each panel is a little over an inch thick, I think. And you're basically looking at 4 pieces of glass when you're looking at the glass. You're looking at an exterior piece, a lamination of plastic with an interior piece, then a dead air space, and another piece of glass, another lamination, another piece of glass. And it's tuned to let out very little heat and to let in very little heat, but still give us light. The overhead glass only lets in 64% of the visible light. And that's a sacrifice. That will make plants grow a little slower.
Yeah.
But it saves us. Originally, we had spec'd out to do clear glass on this building, and we would have had to do nighttime curtains all over the place. And that's a luminized nighttime curtain that would run down during the day and go down during the night and open up during the day. By going with this higher tech glass, I was able to eliminate the cost and the headache of that night curtain and get very close to the same efficiency. And so the trouble with the night curtain, for people who might wonder, is I found out that this night curtains, they break about every 5 years, and they look dingy the day you put them up, and they need replacing every 10 years. So that's an expense that would
Rack up after a while,
shackle this operation for many years to come. And it's not easy to get up there and replace things. You know?
No.
We're looking at 50 feet up, you know. So by minimizing that extra work, we can save a lot of money for the operation of this building and for shooting. So you can imagine, you know, people would have a wedding, and there could be cocktail stations, or there could be music on different levels.
Right.
There could be multiple events going on in this space at the same time. And this corner over here, we see the floor something right. That is going to be a fairy garden.
Oh, okay.
I actually have a fairy garden committee that meets regularly, and they are busy building and designing what that landscape's going to look like. So let's head this way.
And again, I want to say that we're touring the Botanic Gardens with Director Shane Smith here. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask. If the sound goes bad, we are in a construction site, and I apologize for that, but we're doing the best we can here.
It's yet another mechanical space, and you can see the complexity of everything. This system right here is our fog system. So we have fog to help cool the building, we have fog to increase the humidity, and we have fog for special effects. So if somebody wanted to walk through a sea of fog,
as they get married or whatever,
thanks to this whole system here. It's and it's real fog. It's not just a light mist. It's fog, and it's the mini fog system. So
very cool.
And then other mechanics. You can see our electrical room over here, and we're going to come out. This kind of pretty much is the last space tour you through. And this is a horticultural workroom. This is a small Relatively good sized room that volunteers and staff will be cleaning up plants, planting plants, seeding.
Let's make our way to the orangery before we sign off here.
Yeah. So,
That's where we finished. We're headed back out to the orangery.
elevator.
Got your elevator.
Again, that's where the green wall will be. Foot. And
Let's get over into that corner over there real quick.
in the lobby here.
Yeah. So we're back where we started, down here in the orangery or orangery, Shane.
Either way,
So,
orangery.
so we're gonna stand here for a minute or two and just say, if you guys have any last questions or anything, feel free to put them in there. It's been anything else you want to say, Shane? Or anything
Yeah,
else?
I mean, our goal is to, Cheyenne's one of the toughest garden climates in the lower 48. We're number 1 in the nation for hail. We're number 4 in the nation for wind. We have the least amount of snow cover of the Front Range. We're at 6,000 foot elevation, so we have cold nights, which slows plants down. It's tough to have a garden here, and we've been doing it for 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary. It's my 40th anniversary. And the good thing about having a crappy climate is people appreciate it
Right.
when we grow stuff.
Right, right.
And when we survive and come out of a hailstorm, people really are pleased to see that. But now we finally have a space that we can grow year-round in, that doesn't get hail, that doesn't get cold, that doesn't get wind, that you can come and hang out in for free and just enjoy this space.
And it's going to be beautiful too. I mean, you can tell from all the natural light and stuff that you guys
Yeah.
are going to have in here. It's
And
gonna be nice.
it's in our premier park, the best park in the state of Wyoming. I think it's the largest municipal park in the state of
It
Wyoming.
has to be.
Yeah. And it's going to just be a really nice addition. And I like to say, I'm hoping that this place becomes Cheyenne's living room. It's a place where they're going to have celebrations and memorable events and meetings and discussions. Maybe kind of like a town hall, only a whole lot more fun, and
Yeah.
just a place to hang out in, whether there's something going on or not. So we're getting something that no town our size has.
Yeah.
It's very unusual, but Cheyenne has not been afraid to invest in itself. And some people I've heard say, why are we wasting money on our quality of life? Well, I'll tell you why. I mean, look at the Greenway inspired the Lowe's Distribution Center. 500 jobs. For many, many years, 500 people have been employed out there. That inspired the Walmart Distribution Center, 700 plus jobs. What does that inspire? Leeds has done a great job bringing in businesses, but what they need to do is talk about, it's a crappy climate, but we got a neat life here.
You can come here and have a nice
And you can-
tropical getaway in the middle of the
and
day.
you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And this is going to be another piece to the puzzle. The Cheyenne Botanic Garden sees between 50 and 70,000 visitors a year, many of whom are tourists from all 50 states and 30 countries. This will add to that. This will complement conferences coming to our town. So I think the economic importance of things like this can't be overstated. It's really going to give us a leg up on every other city our size, every other city in Wyoming. That this is a special town, this is a special place, and let's do something there.
Cool.
So,
Well, thank you for taking us around, Shane.
Yeah.
Go ahead and like the video, share it if you guys enjoyed it. We're going to do a story. We don't know specifically when, so I don't want to quote it to you guys, but we're going to do a story talking about where they are, and we're going to do some more video, more photo galleries. There are some photos already up on our website at wyomingnews.com. You can see some previous construction photos, probably about 5 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
So you can see kind of where we are now and where we were then. Again, this is Josh Roten at the Wyoming Tribune Eagle and Shane Smith, the director at the Botanic Gardens, signing off. Thank you very much.